I'm Josh, or Joshua. I've been a dispatcher for 6 years. I started out as a call taker, emergency response technician, for 2 years, and then for 4 years I've been a public safety dispatcher.
And how did you first become interested?
So I actually became interested. My family used to be in law enforcement. My brother-in-law was. So he kind of opened the door for me, told me about some of the opportunities, and I became a police cadet when I was a teenager. And from there I kind of learned about more of the department and everything, and that's what interested me specifically in CSPD. Kind of learned what they did and what they stood for, and I believed in it, so I furthered my career from there. The training that you have is you have to have, education-wise, a high school diploma, at least, and then you have to be able to type 40 words a minute, which we do test. They have like typing tests and everything to make sure that you can do that. And the only other training, a customer service experience, is what we kind of ask for, because a lot of people don't really look at 911 as customer service, but a big part of it is, because we're dealing with people, and those are our customers, I guess. So the biggest thing I can say is you got to have a strong head. You got to be able to be mentally resilient. You got to be able to multitask. That's the biggest thing. You're going to be dealing with people's worst days. They're calling you for a reason. So you got to be able to kind of get through that, compassionate. You got to be good at decision making, just kind of rolling with what's going on, being able to read protocols and follow instructions as to give help to the people. And then flexibility in scheduling is huge, because we're going to be doing shift work, and what we do is nights, days, holidays, we're always working. Starting salary for a public safety dispatcher is $23.73 an hour, or $4,113 a month. Now we do get step raises that are handed out that you receive annually from the city, depending on whether funding was approved, and then we do get pay for performance raises as well, depending on how we do and if the funds are available as well. We work in a big communication center. We have typically about, I think, 7 dispatchers on. It really depends on what's going on throughout the day. And then we have at least 8 call takers. We have our supervisors, and it's a large communication center that we all kind of work in. We have our dispatchers on one end, call takers on the other end, but we're still able to, walk back and forth and be able to talk to each other. We work 40 hours a week. And like I said, we do work holidays and weekends and nights and everything. So we start our day by going into what we call lineup, where we get information as to what happened the night before, or things that we need to look out for. Particularly, like if a new policy comes out, we'll go through that there. We'll go over where for me specifically, and all of the other dispatchers, we go over what channels we're going to be working that day. And we just kind of prepare for the morning, get everything taken care of. Then we step out onto the floor. For dispatchers, we go and relieve the person that we're going to be taking over. So we'll take over whatever channel was assigned to us that day. We'll sit down, get signed in, take the radio from them, and then we just start working. So really, a typical day is us sitting there and we're talking to officers, we're dispatching calls. Dispatchers normally don't talk to the community as much, like directly. I may have to call citizens and ask them a few questions about it, but I mostly deal with the officer side of it, dispatching them to calls, making sure that they're okay, sending them cover if they need it, and then at the end of the day, the other shift will come on and do the same thing. They'll relieve us, and then we get to go home. Benefits is, it's really rewarding when you have like a good day, or good, again, relative, but if you are able to keep dispatching calls and we have a pending screen of all the calls that are in our jurisdictions. If you can get rid of those calls, that means you're serving your citizens. That means the officers are going out, they're taking care of that. It's rewarding in that way. It's rewarding knowing that you're helping the citizens and the officers. To me, being a public safety dispatcher, that's one of the benefits of me, is I get to work with these officers. I get to, know them. We get to establish that relationship of, a work relationship of I'm here, for you. So that would be the benefits for me. The difficulties is it is a stressful job. You don't know what's going to happen one time 5 minutes it could be calm and everything's okay, and then the next thing you know it's just bouncing around like crazy. So it is stressful. You do have to do shift works. You work holidays, so you'll miss some time with family and everything like that. But it's worth it in my opinion. It's difficult. It is. I think it is compatible. It just kind of depends on what you're able to work with. If you're able to work nights, days, we have our swing shift, which is in the middle. As long as you're comfortable with working one of those, yeah, you can. The longer you stay, the more seniority you make. So that way you kind of choose what shift you go to, but it's still never guaranteed. There's a lot of opportunity for overtime, so you might get forced to stay over if the staffing requires it. So it is definitely doable. Like, we have a lot of people that have younger kids that take them to school. They just work the shift that they need to make it work. Working with the officers, that's my favorite aspect, just because, they're out there, they're working for our community, and it's kind of that satisfying feeling of being able to work with them and help them, like whenever they need help, to be able to send them the cover that they need and give them the information. It really just makes you feel like you're helping them and the community. Mm-hmm. So I just love that feeling of helping people. I don't think the job is going to change that much, honestly. The only thing that might change is technology-wise. We're getting more technology every day. Phone systems are changing. We're getting more resources to be able to help people. There are so many things that are going on, like text to 911 is a new thing that's coming in. Location finding, like there's certain things that we can do to be able to assist helping, like finding someone if they need help and they're not able to talk. But I think that's mostly the thing that changes the most is our technology-wise, what we're able to do. But most of all, we're answering 911s and we're getting you the help that you need. So that's not going to change much. Honestly, I think the biggest thing that people come in and not realize is the shift work. Like, they know, oh yeah, I'll be able to work with that schedule. I think my biggest advice is it's going to be tough. You will work days that you're not able, or that you think you're not able to. So just be prepared for that. If people are looking forward to wanting to do this, start practicing your typing. That's the biggest thing I think that I would have liked to have known. I was able to pass it, but I passed with like 41 words. It was not much over, so I wish I would have been a little bit more prepared for that, and just have an open mind, because you're going to be met with a lot of obstacles, a lot of things that go on, and you're going to be hit with some hard situations that, as long as you're able to have that open mind of walking through it, you'll be okay.